Hello and welcome to this review of a Hornby British Railways Standard Class 7 Britannia locomotive. I'm going to start you straight off with the box, and as you can see it's the standard Hornby affair. Obviously just saying here what a loco is, obviously showing a side-on image of the locomotive, Hornby steam locomotive, and the minimum radius there of the curves. 00 gauge model railway. Obviously at the top of the box, the standard affair, the picture of the top of the locomotive. Swap the box around here. And again, I'm just going to quickly whiz over this, so no copyright, but you get a brief history and obviously power classification. Oh, sorry about the shadow. Right, just to explain, to make this video a little bit quicker and easier for me to make, I have already unboxed the locomotive and got the accessories and the instructions out. I'm just going to sort of work my way back to the locomotive. So that's the box out the way. And by the way, it's just the usual Hornby block of ice, as everyone refers to it, in Hornby Backman. Right, so moving on, we'll start with the accessories first because they're smaller and easier. In the bag you have a pair of drain cocks, cylinder drain cocks, brake rigging for the tender, a spare NEM coupling, but no NEM pocket, a set of flanged wheels, and just there you see some brake lights. Brake piping, sorry. Heading over, now we've got the instructions of it. Obviously British Railway Standard Class 7, Britannia Class 6, Clan. The Clans were basically smaller Britannias based for the Scottish region, on areas such as the Black Fives mainly dominated and areas like that. I'm not 100% sure if that was true or not, but that's my understanding of it. Many people have deemed them the most pointless of British Rail Standard Class engines, but I think the Clans are alright. But anyway, enough about Clans, let's get on to the Britannia. So this is the maintenance instructions. Obviously, just shows you all your lubricating points. My particular loco hasn't got a speedo cable, but some do. Obviously, how to remove the body, where the DCC chips would be in the tender in this case. I am planning on putting a DCC chip in, and obviously where to fit your lovely accessories. Head over to the back, it's got a removable coal load. I will try and demonstrate that in the video. Again, another apologies. Poor quality of video, it's shot on an iPhone. I'm not very techno savvy. I've yet to get proper camera and proper editing software, so I'm sort of trying to do this all in one take. Right, as the instructions dealt with, now here we have the British Railway Standard Class 7, Thomas Hardy, running number 70034. And straight away, when you first open the box, particularly on the newer stock coming out from the mass manufacturers, you just get this instant wow factor of all of them. And that's when it all goes downhill. But usually it's a pretty big wow. I personally have a particular soft spot for the British Rail Standard classes, particularly the 9Fs. They're my cup of tea. Anyway, one small issue I did have in my Britannia, and I'll show you at the front, is if we have a look here, as you can see I have lamp iron, but no lamp iron in the middle for some reason. Hornby are normally quite good with this. I'm afraid that is a markdown. And it's the same situation sadly on the tender. For some reason I have no middle lamp iron. It's not a problem for me in particular. I'm going to give it an express freight head code, so it'll be one lamp here, one lamp here. But other than that little niggle, I'm very happy. I mean, I've got a free falling chain link coupling there that I normally hook over this little hook. You can have a look there for the detail and the rivets on the front of the locomotive. Focus. It's not going to focus for us. But what you got there is you got your shed plate, and underneath that you got the letters SC. SC signifies a self-cleaning locomotive. It sort of like cleans. I think it's the it's either the firebox. I believe it's the firebox. It's got like a rocking grate, so it rocks it all out. All the ash and all the coals and that lot, it just rocks itself out. Obviously, running number again on the front. It's got separately fitted smoke deflectors, dart, handrails and lamp irons, albeit on this case one of them missing. Nice, lovely sprung buffers. Heading round to the side of the locomotive on the top, we have very crisply painted nameplates. Sadly, unlike the models of Duke of Gloucester, which is the British Rail Standard Class 8, you don't get optional stick-on plates. I don't think they're etched on that, but you've got some nameplates to put on. You don't get them on the Britannias, sadly. Obviously, the motion, it's so fine. I haven't done anything to this locomotive yet. It's pretty much as it was out the box. So it's all nice and shiny and new. And the wheels are clean and whatever. But the livery application's absolutely phenomenal, in my eyes anyway. To me, the humble newbie to the hobby. Lots of separately fitted parts, i.e. these brass safety valves, all of this piping. I believe this bit here is moulded, whatever that's for. I'm not 100%, but that bit there is moulded, but all of this is all separately fitted. The dome's moulded, as is the chimney, but smoke deflectors are separately fitted. And yes, if we head over to the cab roof, it opens and closes. We've got nice little brass window frames. Although it's painted brass, it's meant to be a representation of it. And a nice undercarriage detail as well. Now, because this example of Thomas Hardy is him or her, as you refer to them, in early British Railways condition, please note there's no speedo cable. They sort of come in later on. As towards the end of steam, you started seeing them getting applied with the speedo cables. I'll see if I can get you a nice shot of inside the cab, because that is probably this locomotive's party piece. If you can see in there, the cab is very, very well detailed. British Railways standard class locomotives, they tend to have very basic cabs. So unlike the big four where you had a lot of brass work and it looked the part, British Rail standard classes were very basic. Hence the name, standard, standardise, and they can go anywhere basically within their route capability. Anyway, just looking at the tender now, the emblem is nice and crisp, and the rivet detail is very, very well depicted. Got a couple of foot plates up here. When I said this locomotive is as it is out the box, I have been looking at it in awe, so it has collected a bit of dust as I've been doing some work on my new layout at the minute, which is what you see it on. Head around to the tender here. If you have a look in the middle, you can see a hole where a lamp iron's meant to be, which is sadly missing. You got a couple of tags on there, probably just saying it's a BR1G or whatever tender. Its number, and obviously down here at the bottom the water capacity. And again on the tender, same situation, nice sprung buffers. The model is fitted with NEM couplings. as most models are nowadays as standard. Just flip the locomotive around. Oh, and put it on the track again. And we'll have a look around on the other side. Again, this is something probably funny to bring up as well. But notice the emblem on both sides was facing the direction of travel. If you head over to a chap called Barry Davis's channel, he explains about them. I think he calls the emblems totems, but watch his video on them because it's very, very interesting. I thoroughly recommend that. So as you can see, I'll just show you this removable coal load. So you see, as simple as that, just put it back, and there you go, coal out, nice empty tender. This locomotive will be receiving real coal. Again, just see the glazing fitted to the tender as well as the locomotive, and all the separately fitted pipes. And again, the undercarriage detail is very fine. Look, and the motion's just absolutely gorgeous. It's a shame I can't run anything at the minute because I'd love to see that in motion. And obviously, chime whistle, as the Britannias are famous for, as well as the A4s and obviously the Duke of Gloucester. And we're heading back round to the front. Just have a quick overview of the loco before I think trying to bring it to an end here. So yeah, that's been my review, albeit very brief, of this BR Standard Class 7. I hope you have enjoyed what I've had to say about it and my opinions of it, and I hope it might even have persuaded you to go out and purchase your own. And mentioning purchasing, I forgot to mention how much I paid for this little beauty. I got quite lucky with this particular model. It usually goes for about £150 to £160. I snapped it up for £110 plus £6.50 P&P. The same seller has one more of these available, so if you're interested in it, go snap it up. I thoroughly recommend it, despite my one minor issue with the locomotive. I've had no problems with it. Mainly because I've only had to look at it so far, but hopefully I can rig a little bit of power up to this track, and maybe on a future video I can show you this one running. I would just like to say a little bit of a shout out to Mark of the Western Centurion channel, and a big thank you for the first comment on my last video of the layout tour. I really appreciate it, and for those people that watched the video, I really appreciated your time taken to watch it. Anyone that's watched this video, I'd like to thank you all very much for your time taken, as I've nearly taken up a quarter of an hour of it. I thoroughly hope you have enjoyed this video, and like I said, the channels from Barry Davis and Mark of Western Centurion, I thoroughly recommend you go and check them out. Loads of great and interesting videos, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your trains as much as I do mine. So please have a very, very pleasant new year, and I hope you all had a good Christmas. Thank you. Goodbye.